All right, from scandal in the sports world to one erupting now in Washington, and it could be even more troubling than the NSA spying controversy. Word today of a secret unit within the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, that funneled information it got from intel intercepts, wiretaps, informants, and phone records into criminal investigations of Americans not suspected of terrorism, and now charges the agents were told to cover up the source of the investigations. For more on this, let's bring in Brett Baer, anchor special report. Brett, what is this all about with the DEA and this so-called secret unit?
Yeah, Kelly, it's a story Reuters broke, an exclusive story to them, and it's pretty detailed. So far, the Department of Justice is not commenting on the story, but essentially it says that this Special Operations Division, a unit within the DEA, is designed to use wiretaps, informants, intercepts, a whole slew of intelligence, including telephone records, to then provide agents or law enforcement of any type tips. The story goes on to say it operated like this. According to a former federal agent in the northeastern part of the country, you'd be told only be at a certain truck stop at a certain time and look for a certain vehicle. We'd alert the state police to find an excuse to pull that vehicle over, and then you'd have a drug dog search it. And then after the arrest was made, the agents were told to pretend that the investigation began with that traffic stop. So covering the beginning part, according to these documents that Reuters has recovered, of the investigation and how it began. Well, as you can imagine, there are a lot of people out there who think that's probably not legal. Yeah. And a lot of people questioning whether that can go forward. Others say it happened all the time and it's a great tool. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops.
Yeah, you know, Brett, when you say a great tool for someone who's suspected of terrorism or some sort of crime, but you look at the average American, if we're stopped on a routine traffic stop, this raises red flags about the constitutionality of this kind of information being shared with the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, the IRS, the CIA. So what does that say about our privacy rights in America?
Well, I think this goes and dovetails, Kelly, with a lot of the stories we've been doing lately about the NSA, about the different programs within the U.S. government tracking telephone records of all kinds. Even if it's tangentially, you can get to millions and millions and millions of phone records. This is the same type of thing, but it's a little bit more specific. The DEA obviously deals with drug crimes, not necessarily national security issues. It was set up really to deal with the Latin American drug trafficking and the cartels. And this unit, according to these documents, has been very active.
And what we're seeing here is that there's a lot of information sharing. But when you look at it from the standpoint of what happened with the NSA and the metadata that everyone talked about, and millions of Americans feeling that their rights were violated in terms of people intruding or the government intruding on their privacy rights, again, it's going to raise another issue that Americans will have to contend with and ask the question, what is the government doing? Is it getting too big for its britches to start snooping into my own personal records?
Sure, and that's a big concern now up on Capitol Hill behind me. It's come up in multiple hearings in multiple different ways. I assume that this will launch a number of different hearings about this particular program because you question how an investigation begins, and defendants obviously have the right to know how that starts.
Brett Baer, good to see you, my friend. And you can catch more Brett Baer on Special Report every weeknight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Fox News Channel. You'll enjoy it.